Hey everyone, welcome to the Refried podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
It's me. Hi, I'm Mariel. You guys talked about this like 3 times. I'm so sorry.
Barbara. You did, it was in perfect personality, Mariel.
And I'm Gus. Before we get started, I just wanted to say that we thought a long time about whether or not it was appropriate to do a podcast today. And we thought about canceling it or just doing something else. But ultimately, we didn't feel like that was in our voice. We thought that people may want to hear from us and hear our thoughts and what we have to say, even though we're in very strange times right now. I just wanted to, reinforce the notion that everyone's been seeing online that, take action if you can. If you can protest, go out and protest. If you can donate, please donate. Spread the word. We'll have some organizations in the description for this video that I'd recommend you can donate to. There's things like the George Floyd Memorial Fund, Black Visions Collective, Reclaim the Block. And I just want to remind everyone before we get started that Black lives do matter. All right, now with that, I assume we're going to be talking about the current state of affairs a lot today on this podcast. This year has been absolutely terrible. I feel like the past 4 or 5 years, we keep saying, thank God that year's over. And the next year just comes along and it's like, what in the world?
2020 is officially hell. I don't.
Oh yeah, 2020 is canceled.
Earlier I was trying to write down like everything that's going on in the world that you have to deal with right now. It's like the list just made me depressed to look at it. I was like, I listed off a couple of things like it's going to wear you down mentally, and I think it's okay to acknowledge that as well. I wish that. Almost like there was an adult I could go to. It's like, oh shit, I'm the adult, right? Like, it's on me to try to do something about it. With it between the pandemic, this massive unemployment everywhere, all these protests. It's just like, what else? What next? And just, I guess, you just gotta. I laid down on my floor a little. Well, I laid down over there a little earlier and just like stared at the ceiling for like 15 minutes, trying to like. Get my head straight and figure out how to process it all.
Mariel, I think we need to absolutely address what you've been doing this last weekend. It's been phenomenal. For those of you watching who don't know, Mariel has literally raised over $50,000 for various charities and groups supporting Black Lives Matter and things of that nature. And it's been so inspiring for me to see, and it has made me want to speak up more and donate more and spread the word more. And I feel like you doing that has caused so many people to feel the same way, not only donating money, but just feeling more empowered and more passionate about this situation. And I think that you don't give yourself enough credit for that. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. I think a lot of what I've been feeling is, I get frustrated when I think of people reaching out, and not to say I take it with a lot of heart and I'm very appreciative, but at the same time, like, I'm not doing anything extraordinary. I'm sitting on the couch for the most part, like my phone with my double chin, just sitting and tweeting, and that's all it takes, guys. I think that's the most important thing. You don't have to go out and be a revolutionary to start a revolution or to help the revolution. You don't have to go out and like do crazy things. You can have so much impact from just sitting on your couch and doing what you would normally do. Like, what am I going to tweet about today? Like, I don't know, how I cried or a sword that I have. Fuck no. Like, this shit's going on and I need to say something about it.
It's also using your platform. And that's what I feel so proud about with a lot of people who I know have been using their platform to speak up and to focus their efforts on this since all of this started happening. And I also wanted to talk about how, Mariel, earlier you said, like, this has happened so many times before, but now feels like it's hard to articulate, and I'm trying my best because with having a platform like this, you want to choose your words carefully, and I think that's what I've struggled with because I don't want to say something wrong, and I want to make sure that my intentions are very clear at what I feel like. And I feel like we at Rooster Teeth have done a good job promoting our support for various people, including the LGBT community. I think we've done a really good job with that and have a lot of representation within the company. And I think that we all recognize that we don't have a lot of Black representation here. And I think that that is something we all know we need to work on. And I want to make sure that we all dedicate ourselves to working on that and being aware that that is a really big problem.
It's strange to be on this platform talking about this. Even you were talking about choosing your words wisely. It's like, we're not trained for this kind of thing. We started this company because we wanted to make dick jokes on the internet, and so we're normal human beings like everyone else. I think we're just trying to do the best that we can to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and to try to hopefully continue pushing that conversation forward and trying to get people to take action. I don't think we'll be able to match what Mariel did this weekend or is continuing to do, but we can hope to aspire to that kind of level of activity. Chrissy Teigen had a tweet that she was donating $100,000 to bail relief organization to help people post bail, and someone had a terrible hot take in her mentions, so she quote tweeted them and said, "You're right," and she upped her donation to $200,000. And I think that's funny. When you use someone's hate to amplify the positivity that you're giving. Late last year, was mid to late last year, I definitely had a rash of people coming after me on social media saying that I was being too liberal. So anytime someone came after me like that on social media, I would just make a donation to a Democratic presidential candidate in their name. And I would send them a screenshot of the donation. So I think it's interesting to try to, not let someone's hate drag you down, but instead use it to try to power forward with a positive outcome.
I think it was brought up a number of times on social media where people were talking about how these officers and people were decked out in all this military garb and protective clothing and whatnot. And then you have people working in hospitals fighting COVID-19 in fucking garbage bags.
Yeah.
And there's something about that doesn't seem quite right.
Right.
And I think, kind of jumping off of what you're saying there is, you talk about people, about police in riot gear. And I think, a lot of the core of the issue.
That's what I meant, not military. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Riot gear.
A lot of the core of the issue is, seemingly an us versus them mentality when it comes to policing the street. Instead of doing things with the community or being a resource for the community, instead it's very much like that thin blue line mentality. And right. I think we can definitely see better ways to do things. A few years ago, when I was in South Korea, I was shocked because I felt like I saw police everywhere. It seemed like every corner there were, I'm exaggerating, every other corner, pretty much, there were like 2 police officers standing around, just looking around and talking to each other. And then it wasn't until I was there for a while that I realized that none of the police officers I saw on the street corners were carrying guns. They were all just there, just looking around. They didn't have military vests on. They had like a high-vis vest and a cap, and they just had their walkie-talkies. And like that was it. And I felt like that's a lot less intimidating than the kind of setup we have here. Why can't we have that kind of thing where it's approachable and it's community based?
Yeah. I think another thing to notice with these protests is that we had people, 2 weeks ago marching on their state capitals in full riot gear, like yelling at cops, getting in their faces, and what happened to them?
But they are fine people, according to the president. Right.
They get to go home. They get to go back to their families. They get to get back on Facebook and share memes from freedomamerica.org.eagle. And so like, what's the difference? Like, why do they get to show up literally ready for war? And these people who are just saying, hey, can you just please stop killing Black people? Like that's what we want. Like, let's start there. That's bare minimum. Let's start there. Step one. And we're refusing to do it. But yet we let, people hold up protest signs that say, let me out of my house. I want a haircut. Versus, hey, here's this list of 100 Black people who have been killed within the last few years by the hands of the cops. Like, It's just it make sense, you know? It doesn't make any sense.
The ultimate issue is so deeply rooted in society and humanity of only caring about what affects you and what affects your life. And there are so many people in this world who don't see outside their bubble and think, if this is not affecting me, I will not care about it, and I'm going to continue living my life in a way that only benefits me. And I implore you to care about other people in this world, because without quality of life for everyone, there's quality of life for no one. And things like this are going to continue happening. And if you don't show empathy and that you actually care about other people, I have no respect for you whatsoever. And I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to those people, because it's hard to get through when you feel that way and think that way. But just know a world exists outside of your bubble.
Yeah, I think that's the key word that you use there is empathy. Is, you know, not only wanting good things for yourself, but wanting good things for everyone. You know, why wouldn't you want to make the world better for everybody? Maybe I watched too much Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers as a kid. I thought, you know, everyone was learning those things. You know, you should want everyone to have a fair shot. You should want everyone to have a level playing field.
It's crazy to me because it really doesn't take much. And so many people are just not doing anything or choosing to fight against what this movement is about. You know, I think you guys have commonly seen people fight back with the "All Lives Matter" quote, which I don't even think I can address at this point without getting furious, but I will quickly talk about the analogy that probably every single person on the internet has seen so far of, here's my house, here's your house. Our houses matter. Your house is on fire. Mine is not. Which one should I go help? Well, my house matters too, right? Yes, but this one's on fucking fire.
Yeah.
And if this one continues to burn without being helped, it's going to burn every other house eventually as well. So shut the fuck up.
And grab a
Thank
pail
you.
of water.
He doesn't look punched.
Got them redhead. That's you, buddy.
I love it.
God. I wish we just had a camera just for Benjamin.
He
At
he
all
barks in
times.
his sleep a lot. So that's why I always have to like shake him. Sometimes he does it in the middle of the night. Sometimes in the middle of the night, he'll like to wake him up, because if I call him or if I say his name, he keeps sleeping. And so it's like I'll shake him a little bit. But sometimes in the middle of the night, like out of nowhere, it'll be dead silent, and he'll just start howling like this. Like in his sleep, it's like this really mournful, long, loud howl. Like out of nowhere, it's like I wonder what's he dreaming about, or what's going on that he does that, and then he'll wake himself up, and then he'll look around, confused, like, dude, that was you. You're the one who was just doing that.
I
Do you
would
think-
pay so much more to watch pet dreams than my own dreams.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of, Gus? It reminds me of one time when I took a flight with you, and you were across the aisle from me, and you were asleep, and you were snoring, and one of your snores was so loud that it woke you up.
Yeah, that happens.
Is that when you thought you might have sleep apnea?
Oh, I probably knew I had it. I knew I had it by then, but yeah.
Waitlist W in chat says, "Get an owl, Bob."
Who said that?
This W?
Waitlist W.
That was a joke. Who?
What?
I'll-
I got it now. Okay. That took me a while.
The biggest pain in the ass about living in an apartment with a dog is I have to like constantly like walk them, you know, like out of the unit and downstairs and all this stuff. So I'm trying to find a house. So I'm looking for a house, and this is completely unrelated to everything, but I did find this one, and I was like, oh, this one looks nice, and it was like decent price and all this stuff. And I'm slacking Eric a picture. I was looking at pictures of the garage, and the garage looks like shit. And then I like zoomed in on a spot because there was this weird thing in the corner on the garage, like they had taken off paneling. And underneath the paneling, they had put help. Like someone had written help in the wall, like inside the wall. I don't know if Eric can show it or not. But
I'm looking at it now. It seems
Oh,
like there's like
where
all
is
these
that?
white lines.
Yeah,
it's in our
it's-
call.
like it was like they had like wood paneling or something, so they were like like putting caulking glue, and then someone then put in like a little bit of extra hot caulking glue to make it say help. I was like, maybe
Oh,
I should
dear.
get that house. So
Oh my God.
Searching for house hunting tips. If anybody's got them.
You see any literal cries for help?
Oh.
One of my neighbors came by the other day. They have a relatively young kid. He's a little toddler, and I think they're like running. They're so far. They're like totally exhausted. Everything to do. That I drove home, parked my car, and like from a distance, they came over and they're like, "Can our son watch you plug your car in?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, I guess." So I plugged it in and unplugged it a few times to show him, from a distance away. He was like totally enthralled by it. I guess it's like something new that they hadn't done yet.
It's really cute.
I want to see that. I want to see Gus interact with a baby or a child.
Aren't we still supposed to do explaining something to a 5-year-old? We were talking about that, explaining the human centipede to a kindergartner.
God. Don't remind Eric. He's listening right now.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I'll get back to work on that. Thank you very much.
I want no part of that.
I forget that Eric is in here and watching the podcast. You're welcome, Eric.
Oh, that's terrible. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all.
Wait. Why?
Well, because it's like
you picked.
It was a practice in theory, not in reality.
It was a practice in theory, not in practice.
I was going to say it was an exercise, but I picked the wrong word.
You picked of all the things that you chose to do. You chose the one that you could do. I don't understand. You're not going to do it. If I set it up, you're not going to do it.
It's too non-consensual. It's too psychologically scarring.
I asked
think.
Becca if it was okay, if she knew, if it's okay. She doesn't know what human centipede is.
Man, this soundboard's really specific today.
I don't think we've made a soundboard joke in months at this point.
Hey, Blaine.
Hi. What? Oh, wow. We're coaster buddies. Look at that.
I saw you playing with it. I was like, oh, I've got that too.
What?
We're coaster buds. Gav, where's your coaster?
I'm gonna do some coaster ASMR. Oh my god.
It's my coaster.
Do you want to play a game?
Now I
didn't
do.
feel that one.
Do you want to play a game?
There it is. Good take.
Yeah. One more for safety? No, I'm kidding.
So we're going to have quotes, and you have to figure out if these quotes are from Yelp reviews or from movie reviews.
Oh, God.
And I call this game movie review or Yelp review.
With the big fancy graphic.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
We wasted one like Andre's day with that, huh?
That's
This is what these people are paid for, Blaine. This is not a waste. Did you see the incredible? Can we get the graphic one more time? I don't think Blaine really saw it.
Roll it
Can we
again.
play the
Roll it
graphic
again.
one more time? Can we just play the graphic one more time? I just want to see it one more time. Should be.
Wow.
look at those lens flares.
The whole graphic was based off movie review. There was no Yelp in there.
There was half of the bucket was chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
I guess Barbara didn't see it. If we can just see it one more
again.
time, Shane. If we can just roll it back, have a look at the left side. It is chicken bucket. Can we do that one more time?
Wow. Oh, yep. Wow. Yep. There you go.
It's so confused. Like it's Yelp versus movie reviews. Does it mean like Yelp as in like a restaurant review?
Well, Blaine, let me explain the game. I have quotes that I've pulled from Yelp reviews and movie reviews. What I'm going to show you is an excerpt from those reviews. What you have to determine is it a movie review or a Yelp review? So let's bring up the first quote to see what you guys think. I mean, wow, the Ford GT40 is such a cool car. I had so much trouble beating it in Gran Turismo 2 as a kid. On classical Rome circuit, the AI actually rigs it by having that car exceed entry qualifications for horsepower. So now you guys tell me, is that a Yelp review or a movie review?
Buzzer. It's a movie review for Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari, yeah.
I'm going to guess it's a Yelp review.
I'm going to guess it's a movie review for Parasite.
It is, and we can show the reveal. It is a movie review for Parasite. Half a star. Gus already saw this example.
I've seen that one.
Wait, what?
Wait,
but
what were
for
they?
your-
What was this in reference to?
He said that he hated Parasite because it wasn't an English film. So then he put on Ford versus Ferrari, and that was way better. And then he went on this tangent about the GT40.
Oh God, these could be anything then, couldn't they? He's
So,
talking about
do we
another
have-
movie.
But we don't have to guess what it was for.
No,
It
you
was
just have to guess if it's a movie review or a Yelp review.
Can I see
What
the graphic again?
Yeah, actually,
Dang
one
that.
more time if we could see that graphic.
You
Wow.
made someone in our company make that graphic.
No, that's what they're here for.
with
I
that
already
name.
explained this to Blaine. Where were you 35 seconds
I'm
ago?
just. It's offensive.
Why?
Someone, that's their work.
That's what they
Sure.
do.
But it doesn't even have a flashy name.
Do you think they'll put that in their reel, like their visual effects reel?
They should. Did you see the chicken in that bucket?
Yeah, Barbara thought it was popcorn.
Wait, was it spicy chicken or was it regular chicken? We need to see it
Regular
again.
Chicken. But
Like,
now,
I hate presenter Eric. I hate it so
well, that's
much.
good because now I'll leave you and Gus can read all of the lower
I'll read
thirds that
them.
we've created.
All right, that
Thank
sounds
you,
good.
Eric.
So I've only seen that other one. I haven't seen any of these that we're about to see.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you're not cheating anymore.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh, baby, that graphic.
This happened to my buddy Eric.
That's it?
That's it.
Jesus.
I'm gonna guess movie review.
I'm gonna guess movie review. They're referring to a scene that happened to their buddy Eric.
I'm going to guess Yelp.
I want to go Yelp.
What do we got?
And
And the answer is movie review.
whoa.
Yeah.
This, Joker, this happened to my buddy Eric.
Eric, give me context. What happened to the buddy Eric?
Was this you, Eric?
What do
He
you
turned
mean?
into the Joker?
Joker happened.
Joker
4
happened to
stars.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the buddy Eric?
No, it's not to me, but it happened to his buddy Eric. 4 stars.
Eric got jokered.
Like, oh no.
All right, let's see the next one. The guy I'm currently living with is 20 with a 16-year-old girlfriend. I've been conflicted about turning him into the police for months, even though he's assured me it's legal.
What
Yelp
movie is
Smiley
that?
emoticon with a straight line.
I don't understand how this would be either.
I'm gonna
Uh,
say Yelp.
Yelp.
I want to
just
say
been-
movie.
Did you say Yelp, Blaine?
I said Yelp.
Okay, and the answer is movie. Clueless.
Are these all movie reviews? Is that the game? Is that the joke?
No, these are not all movie reviews.
I just
These-
don't understand how you would come to some of these.
What do you mean clueless? 5 stars.
These epiphanies based on a Yelp review. I don't know how you would get there.
I also
A
love how
movie-
this is what he wrote and he gave it 5 stars.
Maybe because she was showing him Clueless, like she was watching Clueless, and that's how he saw it. But then he got on a side tangent about how she's underage.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, the upside is they're both like 40 now, right?
Unless it's
Yeah.
a recent review.
It could be.
All right, let's see the next one. ... But someone got shot while we were there, so I'm taking a star away for that. Okay,
Oh
Well,
god.
That's got to be Yelp.
that
right?
sounds like Yelp, but I think that's a head fake. I think it's a movie review.
I think it's a movie review too.
Yeah.
I've literally guessed Yelp for every single one so far.
If it was Yelp, Barbara, where do you think that would be?
Starbucks. You know what? I'm just gonna trust my gut and still go with Yelp. I'm doing Yelp,
Answer is
even though I think it's a fake
Yeah,
out.
I'll go.
Hey!
uh,
Oh man.
Someone got
It's a
shot.
hookah bar with a 4-star experience. Would have been 5, but somebody got shot.
Somebody got
Is
shot.
it
That's unfortunate.
Name of the hookah bar with a lowercase b.
Yeah. Yep.
oh,
Look,
Probably.
you got mad that I made somebody make these. You can't be mad at them for occasional grammatical errors.
There's a hookah bar in Austin that we used to go to. I wonder what that place is dealing with during COVID. People literally sharing things that they put in their
Oh.
mouth.
Oh shit! Wait, I remember going there. I think
Yeah, I think you and I and a couple other friends have been there from time to time
that was
back in the day.
What does that do? What's the benefit?
It's hard to say. I haven't smoked hookah in many, many years.
I think you just get a lot
Um,
more nicotine, a lot more quickly.
I think it's just, I don't
So it's just
I
like
don't really. It's just
social.
social.
Taste in the atmosphere, I guess, and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
a lot
just
of it's
like
atmosphere.
it's like another version of drinks, but you're not getting drunk.
Yeah, I've never done it. I just don't want to. I've never wanted to go somewhere and suck shit.
Oh no! Also, like you
Ladies
realize
and gentlemen,
later in
Gavin
life
Free.
that is very bad for you.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're young,
I've only done it once.
All
I
right.
think it was that one time.
Next one. As raw as wet, custard, soft serve poo squishing through your undies and back up your bum as you sit down on your father's lap. I think it's supposed to be as
Eric.
raw and as wet.
Movie review.
Mm-hmm.
Yelp, Team Yelp.
Movie.
Movie.
Maybe it's about flubber.
And the answer is
The Nightingale.
Which one's that?
It
I
was
don't
a
know if I
movie, The
remember.
Nightingale, No Stars.
Wow.
What's
The
that?
Nightingale was a movie that came out, I think, earlier this year or last year, and it was critically panned.
Was it the Nightingale murders? Murderers?
I didn't see it.
What's that Jim Caviezel movie where he stops the Nightingale murders?
2018, The Nightingale.
Fuck, I need to hold on. I need to look that up. Guys, stop the game. I need to. It's got time travel.
The chat is now catching up to that moment. Everyone's like, "Ew, what the fuck?"
All right. Next one. We're not stopping the gameplay.
It's frequency. It's frequency, everyone.
Don't remember.
Remember. That's got to be a place.
Don't remember.
Yelp.
Yelp.
Yeah, I'll say Yelp.
I'm gonna say movie.
The answer is Yelp for supermarket. Don't
Which
remember.
one?
What is this game?
This game shows you the things that people
Supermarket.
share online. Like they feel like this is relevant. This was relevant information to share in a review of a supermarket.
Oh my god.
But I only gave it 1 star. Was it one?
Yeah,
They don't remember.
It was not a memorable supermarket.
Yeah. If they remembered it, they would have gotten at least 4.
Yeah, if you don't remember it, you can't give a star rating.
Well, people just love giving their opinions.
Right, you couldn't write a review also, but here we are in a world where they gave both.
Have you
All
ever
right.
done either, Eric?
What's that? Left a review?
Yeah, a movie review or a Yelp review?
I mean, I don't think I've really left a movie review. I used to go through Yelp and go to like Chili's or Applebee's reviews in like small towns, and when people complained, I would vote them as cool because that's a feature on Yelp. So it would be like, oh, they didn't see us for 45 minutes, and my my chips and queso were cold. My fajitas didn't even come out right, and then I would vote it as cool because you're writing a review on Yelp about Chili's in your small hometown.
The only Yelp review I ever
Alright.
made was for the Gold's Gym in Tokyo. I gave 5 stars because it was really good.
Wow.
If I ever
I
go
feel
to
like
Tokyo, now I'll go.
going out of your way to, do a one-off review, probably the only one you did that year, for 5 stars is nice. But when it's like 2 or 3, it's like, why bother?
I
Why
feel
would
like
anyone-
the majority of people tend to leave reviews or comments if something's either really good or really bad. There's
Right.
Yeah.
rarely an in-between there.
I signed up for a Yelp account, and I only have ever left 1 review because a business pissed me off so much.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Well, weren't you forced to review a place once for like a cheap rate or something?
They wanted me to review them on Google, though, not on
Oh, okay.
not on Yelp.
And they wanted you to give like a positive one, right?
Right, and I had to write it in front of them while they watch. Wait, there's a whole animated adventure about it. It was a storage place.
Which is
The-
totally against that entire system. Like, you're not supposed to do that.
I think that might be the only video we ever disabled comments on, because in the comments people were trying to figure out which storage place it was in town, and they were like, yeah, so they never figured it out, of course, because I gave no discernible information about it, but it was just weird to see people try to run with it. There's no way they could have figured it out. Anyway,
I found my Japan Yelp review.
next one.
Are we going to hear it?
WWF Undertaker 1998, Hell in a Cell, fuck the NWO, and if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
I'm gonna say that was Yelp, and they were rating a bar that a local wrestling thing went down at.
I'm gonna say movie.
I'm gonna say movie as well.
I'll say Yelp.
And the answer is movie review.
Tombstone.
Tombstone. 1
What?
star also.
Tombstone.
Because isn't that the Undertaker's like move, Eric?
Yeah, he does the tombstone pile driver.
Oh,
But why would you give it 1 star?
Tombstone fucks. That movie rules.
Yeah, it does, and so does the tombstone pile driver. Why 1
But is there a
star?
tombstone pile driver in Tombstone?
There might not be. And
Well, that's
the
like,
problem,
you know
Eric.
what? Yeah, now
Do
I
you
get
guys
it.
think there are people in the world who give things 1-star reviews that they really like, thinking that like they're giving it a 1, which means like number 1 out of 5 for like in a rating
It's a-
system?
that sounds
it's a
so
number
stupid.
1.
Someone has to think
Yeah.
that.
There must be.
I think that's why they always have that like side thing where it's like on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being dog shit and 10 being the best. Like I think it's for those dum-dums.
All right, next one. One lady asked if we had a cigarette, and when we said no, she said, "Okay, but does anybody you know have a cigarette?" Strangely, she did not see the bats. We did. They are everywhere.
Yelp.
Yeah,
Movie
it's gotta
review.
be Yelp.
Or is that a movie theater?
I don't know.
Movie.
It could have been someone reviewing a movie, but just said that. I'm going to say movie.
I'm gonna say Batman Begins.
I'm gonna say Yelp.
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 The answer is
Okay, that's fair. That makes
5 stars. It's a 5-star liquor store experience.
Wow. I mean that is
Fight the bats.
that sounds like a pretty good liquor store experience compared to most.
All right, next one. If you dare to go, watch out for Ramirez. Ramirez misspelled. If you dare to go, watch out for
Yelp.
Ramirez.
Movie.
Yelp.
Movie.
They're talking about like an actor.
The answer is
Hey.
Yelp review.
Driver's license
Yelp
exam
review.
school. Poor Ramirez.
Watch out for him. Like, what do you think Ramirez did?
If you dare to go, which means this place is not good in the first place.
Well, yeah, it's 1 star, obviously.
So someone failed their driving exam and left a bad review? Is that what happened?
Probably.
That or they were in the car with someone named Ramirez who was a dog shit driver. Because you know how they have to like group into your test drives.
I never
Sure.
did that. I only did a 1-on-1 driving.
Oh, Gavin, I'm sorry. So when you go to driver's ed school, my dad used to be a driver's ed teacher. So in the olden days, I guess, I don't know if they do this anymore, but like you would pile in with like 3 other students and your teacher, and you guys were like basically like switching in between who was driving and who was a passenger.
Oh, that seems really intimidating.
Yeah, I would hate that.
It's a lot of
Because
performance
everyone would be
anxiety.
judging you.
Yeah,
Right.
I was very fortunate to have a 1-on-1 situation. I did it after school with an instructor, but if I had to do that in front of my peers, I would hate that.
I did that in a group, and I had to go first. I fucking hated it. It was awful.
My dad taught me because he was an ex-driver's teacher, so they got the home teaching course.
Nice. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about that scenario.
All right, next one. I hate myself so much. I don't respect myself. I resent all the phases of my life. I can't be trusted, and my origins are disreputable. I'm scum.
Wow.
Yelp review or movie review for Transformers.
Blaine's Facebook bio.
This is a Yelp review for an Applebee's.
Oh, yeah, this has got to be just real comfort food place.
It's a movie review for a dog shit movie.
I'm gonna say movie.
I'll say Yelp.
And the answer is movie review for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. 1.5 stars.
1.5.
Um,
I wonder where they would have ranked Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
We got to find out. We'll have to track this review down and see. They probably
still
found
hate
another one, too.
myself.
Do we have any more? How many are left? Do we have more?
I think there is one more.
Okay,
Really,
one more.
really getting mileage out of that graphic.
Last one. We're going to play the graphic at the end again, too. Revolting experience from beginning to end, and pardon me, but I'm glad he's dead.
Yelp.
Movie. It's got to be a movie.
It
I
makes
would
me
hope
think
it's
it's
a
a movie, but I wanted to think it's.
Yeah,
it's a-
I would hope it's a movie, but I'm going to say Yelp.
Barbara, did you say?
I said movie.
Movie? Okay. Answer is movie review for
Oh.
Hook.
I'm terrible at this game.
Half a star.
Oh my god. This is
Oh no! To Robin Williams.
they're referring to
Oh.
Robin Williams. Yikes, dude.
Oh, I thought they were
write
talking
that.
about Hoffman.
I thought they were talking about no, they got to be talking about a character. They got to be talking about a character.
Yeah, I thought they were talking about Hook.
Yeah.
Even
No.
though he doesn't, you don't really see him die.
Yeah, I don't think Hook dies in that movie.
He's just gone.
Eric, bad choice. Bad. Play the
I
graphic.
didn't write the review.
What a
When was that
bummer.
from, Eric?
You picked it.
You know,
Play the
the
fucking
only
graphic.
the only way to feel better now is if we play the graphic. So
The graphic. It's got to cheer us up.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Blaine,
That one's awful.
Has anybody done anything this week?
No. All right. See you guys next week. It's been fun. Fun chats. So Alana just tweeted this a few minutes ago. She wrote, a man just aggressively coughed at me because I, a person who is immunocompromised and has respiratory problems, moved several steps wide of him as he was walking towards me without a mask. So that's where we're at now, I guess. Cool.
It's like it's not enough that some people don't want to wear masks. They actively don't like other people doing it. That's what's surprising to me. That's what I didn't expect. Because I was thinking to myself, I'm going to keep wearing a mask, because I might get it and I don't want to pass it to people. Other people are now seeing that as a challenge. What is wrong with people?
The thing I don't get is how people have made it a political thing, as if the virus won't affect you one way or the other. But they say, like, I don't know, it just seems weird that wearing a mask is now somehow equated to being a Democrat instead of just like, I'm concerned about my health and the safety of other people. It's, if you guys want to relax, I know ASMR is weird to some people, but those two creators,
It's
like,
honestly,
are so good.
it's weird for me now. Like, it wore off for me. Like, I can't get the tingles anymore. And I was like just a smack addict trying to chase the tingles. I used them all up. That doesn't work on me anymore.
You maybe
I
just got
had
to
the
find
best.
something different.
I had the head massage, and that was just peak ASMR.
Nothing could get better than that.
Yeah, it filled
You're
you up.
constantly chasing it.
R.I.P. Baba.
Well, you can, if you want something relaxing to listen to, you can listen to me talk about plane crashes on Black Box Down.
Look at that thing.
Oh my god, that is the cutest thing of all time.
Don't cut away. Just stay.
just-
Oh, get him. Get the beard.
For those listening on audio, when this
There's
comes
the
out, Gavin is holding the smallest, cutest little
And he's
kitty,
biting his nose.
and it's playing in its beard.
What's his name? Q?
Q.
Oh, he's so good.
Cutie.
I can't
Best.
wait for chat to catch up. They're going to love that.
I know.
I find, because building the nuclear reactor is one thing, but when you farm uranium to fuel your nuclear reactor, there's only a 0.7% chance you get the correct uranium isotope. So it's just like, it's just a nightmare to make sure you have enough centrifuges to process it. I have an alert set up to the circuit network where anytime the correct isotope of uranium comes through, it plays a sound that I can hear, and it flashes an alert on the screen. So I know that it's processing correctly. Barbara, it looks like she's
I kept doing that, thinking like maybe they'll cut to me, because I was just like the whole time you were explaining that, and they never cut to me, so I just kept going.
You know what I'm having trouble finding? You're talking about supply chains, Barbara?
What are you talking about?
Canned refried beans.
What?
Okay, it's very specific.
I can't find them. They're sold out everywhere. Like I did my grocery shopping today. I went to 2 different stores. No canned refried beans.
Did you really need them that bad that you went to 2 stores?
Listen, I like refried beans.
Have you thought about frying them twice yourself?
Well, the thing is, you have to make the beans first, and that takes a long time, and I don't have a crock pot. I mean, I guess I could do it, but it's just easier to buy a can of refried beans.
Something that makes me so annoyed with on the Instacart app is the place you order food from. When you search bananas, it comes up with bunch, like banana bunch. And so the first time I saw this, I was like, okay, I just want 1 bunch. So I just put 1. And then when I got my order, I got 1 banana. And I was like, well, this is not right. So then every other time I did it, I said like, okay, like 4 or 5. I put 4 or 5, and I would always get 4 or 5 bananas. And I was like, I don't know why they have bunch here. This is stupid. We get our groceries this week. I ordered 5 bananas. We get 5 bunches of bananas, 13 pounds of bananas.
Oh my god.
And so
Barbara.
I texted a bunch of my friends who I knew lived like near me or like able to get to me, and I was like, "Does anybody need bananas?" So we have a surplus.
This is the most first world problem of all time.
I
Your
know.
magic button made too many bananas appear. Explain that to a caveman.
It's so silly.
Just make a bunch
but
of banana bread.
I ended up being able to give some bananas to my friends, but it was just an embarrassing
It was
situation.
bananas?
I thought you can switch between pounds and each on the app.
You probably could. I just like every time I've done it that way, it's worked out fine. So I just didn't change my ordering. And I guess the person who was doing my groceries somehow thought I wanted 5 bunches of bananas.
It's probably the one person who actually read it instead of thinking it was 5 bananas, actually read 5 bunches, right?
You probably got reported to some like exotic animal helpline. They think you've got a bunch of chimps.
I like how everyone, like I knew this would happen in chat because when I texted my friends about this, they're like, oh, you can make banana bread.
Everyone always does that.
But I've never made banana bread before. Are there other ingredients you would need to make banana bread? Like,
No,
is it
it's
something
just mashed up bananas thrown in the oven.
You just carve it into a loaf and put it in the oven.
like it's like I don't have other ingredients to make this. I can't just I have bananas, let me just make banana
We'll just
bread.
order
Anyway.
9 pallets of flour. That you can-
I wonder if anybody reported Barbara for hoarding bananas, like, or if anybody started wondering, like, does she know something we don't? She's making a run on bananas. Like, we need to buy bananas now too.
It was embarrassing. I literally opened the bag and went, oh, sorry, I opened the 2 bags I got.
That person probably thought you were crazy. They were like, this woman wants how many bananas?
She's going to get stopped up.
She must be making a lot of banana bread.
right? And that's like people are just like, oh, just freeze them and stuff. But like,
Just a freezer.
Yeah, you could make
full of
smoothies. You'd make
yeah,
a,
it's like an experience and stuff like that. But
that's a great
I
idea.
never-
Chop them up, freeze them.
I managed to offload 2 of my bushes. bushes.
Oh.
It came with the whole tree. It's just,
Nope,
just
a
got
bush of
5
bananas,
trees.
not a tree, Gavin. There's a
Sorry.
bush. There's a bush of bananas.
I unloaded 2 of my bushes. Oh man, terrible.
I need
But,
to
like,
go. I need
literally-
to go tend to my banana bushes right now.
And Trevor can confirm this. Literally, anytime we're about to eat, or that like someone mentions that they're hungry, I'm like, "You want banana? Do you want a banana? Do you want 2 bananas?" Anyway, we've gotten through a good amount of them, but woof.
Y'all
Yeah,
want
what-
to play my new game called How Old Is This Fruit?
Hey, can we get the graphic?
Yeah, I
Eric,
think
can we
that's
get
a
the
really
graphic?
good idea. I don't have a graphic ready for it, but maybe if we could re-roll an older graphic. Shane, do we have a
Yeah,
graphic
just
that we can
like
play
a-
for this?
Like a placeholder.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, welcome
People
to my
who
new
didn't
show.
watch last week,
Shut up.
have
Welcome to
no
my
idea.
new show called.
Don't tell me to shut up. You shut up. The fucking podcast. We make
Host
jokes
the
on
show,
top of
John.
each other.
Host the show. Get on with it. We already saw the graphic. Host
This
the
is my
show.
called How Old Is This Fruit? Welcome to my show. I'm going to read off a name of a fruit, and I need you guys to guess what year this fruit was released to the public.
All right.
Okay? If you need, I can give you a short description on what the fruit is.
I would like
Um,
the description.
This is our first fruit is called the Orangetti Spaghetti Squash.
Orangetti spaghetti squash.
Oh, the only spaghetti squash sold in Israel. It was the first hybrid Israeli vegetable grown in the United States under its own name.
Starting
it
off with a hard one, huh?
It has an intense orange color. I also have the year it was started developed.
It was released to the public in 2012.
2012.
Wait,
what
what
do you-
year was the birth of Judaism?
I don't know. All I know is fruit here, dude.
Time.
I will
No.
vote beginning of time, John.
Okay, going pretty far back.
Pretty early on. They did, record the history of fruit and vegetables way in the early. They carved it into the,
Here, I'll tell you what.
Well-
It was sooner. It was after 1950. How about I say that? It was after 1950.
I'm gonna say 1989.
65.
Barbara's closest, 1986.
Ooh,
That's the
Wow.
same year as the Vidalia.
Same year as Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Paris began developing it in 1979. You spent like 7 years working on a fruit. Like that was someone's like
Yeah, but
thing.
if you're gonna get a hit, like if you're gonna have the next banana, 7 years is nothing.
I just read something dumb here.
We're working on a hit here, people.
Maybe
This
I'm
squash
dumb.
is a hit.
The Vidalia onion was named Georgia's official state. I read that wrong. I am dumb. Never mind.
Did you think it was a fruit?
Yeah, I said fruit. It says vegetable. I must have had a stroke there for a second.
Okay.
Do you have another fruit? Wait, let's get the graphic again because it's a new round.
There we go. There we go.
Man, that's a cool graphic.
All right. This one's called the Black Galaxy Tomato.
Ooh.
And it was another Israel fruit. There's a lot of good fruit coming to Israel.
But we don't know if
What?
it's good. We use a lot of fruit.
The dark salad staple was developed by some people using a pigment derived from blueberries.
This could be probably the best Israeli-based quiz show that Rooster Teeth has ever made.
This stuff looks wild. These like it's black tomatoes.
I will guess 92.
1992,
2018, because I feel like I haven't even heard of that.
2018, Bimmy.
2001.
I think Gus is the closest. It was developed. It was released to international markets in early 2012. That's a pretty new fruit.
Very new. So young, so fresh.
All right, final round. You got another
Final
one?
round. Final round.
Roll the graphic.
Roll the
We maybe
graphic for
get
the
a more classic sort of a fruit that we may recognize.
So cool. Cool graphic, dude.
what is this thing? That's just a stupid hybrid. I'm trying to
Say
find ones with
hybrid
with the date.
Immediately think of Animal Crossing.
What hybrid?
Yeah.
How about doesn't have a date? Tell me a date on this one. Stupid. Fine. The Gallia melon.
That's a classic. Yeah.
the Gallia melon.
Oh, I would put that in maybe like 1890 or something.
1890,
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1960.
1960.
We did 1980, 1960.
1890 and 1960. So quite a range here.
1942.
What did you say, Gus? 1960? Yeah. You were closest. It became a multi-million-dollar hit internationally in 1974.
Wow, that's a new melon.
That's a new melon. Thank you for joining me for the first episode of How Old Is That Fruit? What was the name of the show?
How old is that?
Doesn't
fruit?
matter. It was called Yelp review or movie review.
You missed the most important fact. It was developed in Israel.
It was? Israel. Thank you so much for all the fruit.
People are
Yo, what can I
sleeping on
say?
Israel and their impact on the fruit world.
Boys,
If I asked you, Gus, do you want a bowl of melon? What would you say?
No.
Wait. I want to know why you asked the question. I want to know why Gus just flat out
For
had
some
that
reason,
answer.
wasn't expecting that answer.
no,
I don't like melons.
That's
I
such
don't
a weird
like it, but my honeydew.
I don't know if there's a single melon that I like.
Watermelon.
Hate it.
What? You're
Yeah,
broken.
Trevor also doesn't like any type of melon. He doesn't
We've
like
already
watermelon.
established Trevor's broken.
Does he like cucumber?
I don't know. I know he doesn't like pickles. Obviously,
Melon is inoffensive. It's just fodder for your fruit salad. It's to like break up the different bites of pineapple. It's just melon. There's nothing offensive about melon.
Except their existence.
Let me think.
Go, Barbara.
Let me think.
Maybe, Barbara, could you lend Gavin a hand?
What to get out?
Did you hit yourself?
Maybe. Wait, I should get a drink.
So, Gus, dude, that's not gonna go well.
Seconds before disaster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at the straws
She's gonna
going.
like freeze and then glitch out and drop from the
like-
connection.
Like she's wrestling a snake.
Tiny little hands.
Oh, what other tasks can we say? Can you blow your
Refreshing.
nose?
Oh yeah.
The only tissue I have here is one I used to dab my lipstick, so it's a little bit red.
Okay, that looks pretty convincing. That's pretty good.
Oh my lord. So
Sorry, I have a phone call. Let me just quickly.
guess
Listen, folks, the next 90 minutes, we're gonna let Barbara do things with her
Oh,
tiny
God.
hands.
My
Yeah.
earphones came out. Now
This
I
is
can't hear you guys.
if you guys are listening to the audio version of this podcast, you might want to check out the video for this one. Gus in high school, I jokingly say this is when I got my first tattoo because I was sitting in a desk in math and like I was just like, just sitting there listening to the teacher and I was just kind of like bouncing my foot and it caused my pencil to roll out of that like pencil groove that's at the top of like desks, right? So it starts rolling and it goes and it's falling off my desk. And so I go to really quickly catch it. What happens is the eraser snags on my shorts, points the pencil up, and and then just slam my hand straight into this pencil. And I so vividly remember going, ah! And then I look up and I'm staring and the pencil is like in my hand. And I go, and then the teacher looks at me. She's like, excuse me? And then I just go, and she goes, oh, go to the nurse. And I was just like, like
You
She
joked
looked at you and-
your hand.
yeah. So like I have a dot. There's no way you're gonna see that
No,
on this
so-
camera, but I have a little dot in the dead center of my palm from when I did that.
If she was like, that's not an excuse, stay in class.
I know, right?
I knew a kid at my summer camp. I've known him for so many years at this point, and he's always had these teeth. I'm going to lay these hands in, by the way, for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
But he had teeth that were kind of like, they came out this way. So they're kind of at an angle, like a 45-degree angle out. And, I just thought that that's the way kind of his teeth grew, his jaw and his gums and all that stuff. Like some people just have teeth that look like that. I found out years after knowing him that when he was a kid, he was swinging on 2 desks in elementary school
Oh God.
and slipped
Oh,
hit his teeth, like his upper teeth, into the desk in front of him, and it literally pushed all of them back.
Oh my God. I
So don't do that, kids.
didn't realize
I
that was
didn't-
even possible. I figured they would just all pop out.
Why didn't they
Yeah,
fix them?
well, I mean, yeah, they
It's
were
bad.
probably loose. They probably dropped. I don't know. They probably just let them see if they'd take. The other day, what was this? I don't know. A couple weeks ago, my son hit me in the crotch so hard that I thought I developed a hernia because I was just dozing on the couch and he's running back and forth on like the side of the sectional and he full on trips at like insane toddler speed and tries to recover, but what actually ends up happening is I got a full force like toddler stiff arm straight to my crotch. So,
Oh my God.
now, I've been hitting the genitals a lot. You've seen Extra Life. I used to skate. I've slid like rails down. I have never been in this much pain there in my life. Like, I had to go wake up April, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I know it's your day to sleep in, but like, I can't move. Like, so I thought I was going to throw up.
It's
Like,
ironic because that's where he came from.
Right.
He's destroying the very
attacking
home
the
he was
source.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm like, okay, I'm dead. I literally had to like take a pain nap. Like I just like took painkillers and like just like curled up and went to sleep. So over the next couple days, my right nut starts swelling up a bit. And then also so like the spot right where your leg meets your groin, that like crease, that goes along. I got just like,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, do you have a name for it?
The inguinal region, I believe, is it's called.
You actually correct.
hell.
It is because I thought I had an inguinal hernia. Wow. I thought you were going to make something up.
No, I know some things.
Apparently. You know a lot of stuff about groins.
I'm kind of a groin connoisseur.
That can that be the name of this episode? So I got like this like right like I was like it starts to swell like right there just a little bit. It's like a little bump, and I was just like, that's weird. But then I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I just have like an ingrown hair. Right? Have you guys ever had that happen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so like I was like, oh fuck, I probably just have an ingrown hair. Over the next couple days, it proceeds to swell more and more and started to turn like kind of purplish. And I'm like, I like put Neosporin and stuff on it, and I was like trying to, and I was like, fuck, I bet I have an infected ingrown hair. So I was like, I guess I'll make an appointment with like a web clinic. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. Like I was not really looking forward to being like, yeah, hey, check this out.
Just imagine you're on chat roulette.
Yeah. So just keep going until you get a doctor. So I'm like, all right. I try and make a web appointment to like, check it out or whatever. By the end of that day, like it went to like full crazy mode and I was in agony and I hadn't heard back. Like it swelled up. It was probably like this big.
Oh my
Started
God,
like
dude.
it had ripple swelling down like my left thigh, and it was not looking good. And I was like hurting. It felt like just this burning pressure. So that's when I was just like, okay, they haven't called me back, and like now I'm worried. And that's when I started thinking, I was like, oh God, Logan, like, obliterated my balls the other day. Like I was like, oh my, you can get a hernia there. And I was like, oh, I swear. And of course, like, oh great, what else can happen in this year? Like, awesome, let's deal with the hernia. So I find a clinic that takes walk-ins. And so I go there and I hobble my ass in, and I'm just like not feeling good. Not a good time. So the nurse asks me a bunch of questions. I tell her, and the doctor comes in, and she doesn't even look at it. The second she's like, and I was like, oh yeah, and there's also, been some swelling in my right testicle, but it seems to be going down. She's like, you need to go to the ER. And I was like,
Oh,
what?
fuck.
And she was
I
like,
think it was a torsion.
yeah. She was like, we don't, like, anytime you have swelling, like, nope. Like, you go straight to the ER, because if it is, testicular torsion, you will lose your ball.
Yeah, you have like a matter of minutes or hours before you just lose a bollock.
Yeah. So she's like, go to the ER right now. And I'm like,
Even better.
yeah. So I'm just like, okay. So like, she's like, we're not even gonna charge you for this visit. Just go to the one like right down the street. I'm like, all right. And so like hobble my way out. I like April to watch the kids. So I'm like driving, but I'm like so uncomfortable. So I'm like trying to like lean back and just like find a good angle. So I get in there and I check in, and it was the most awkward thing, because there's like one other person in the waiting room, one person standing behind me, and they've got this like ultimate, it looks like bank teller plexiglass, like, right? And this lady is sitting at like the corner. And so she's just like,
Sup?
and I'm like, what? She's like, I'm just like, I can't hear. And I'm like pushing my ear up to the little like slotted hole. And she's like, what's your name? And then we go through that. And then she's like, and what's the problem? So that's be like, I think I have a hernia.
My ball's falling off.
My ball is swollen. Like, so I'm like yelling this in this room. And so then I go, and she's like, well, I'll be with you or whatever. So I go and I sit down. And they were doing a good job. They had like certain chairs and like places so everyone could social distance. So that was good. But the only thing that made me feel a little bit better about that moment is I'm like, fuck me. And I'm just sitting in this chair. I hit the guy who was behind me. The only words I heard was testicular pain. Said like, just like that. And I was like, hey, I've got a ball brother. So they get me in. I'm like, yeah, I think I've got a hernia. They're like, all right, cool. Take your pants off. I'm like, great. Awesome. I would like to point out that this day is April and I's wedding anniversary.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Happy anniversary.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's great. So I'm pantsless with a nurse and a doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, I don't think it's a hernia. And I was like, okay, well that's good news. He's like, I'm pretty sure what it is you got a skin infection from either like an ingrown hair or like you guys get one of those like heat blisters or whatever from like something just like rubbing up. Anyway, he's like, yeah, whatever it was, it just looks like it never came to the surface. So he's like, that can just happen, and then the like anytime you get that as like a little mini infection, then they go away, right? He's like, but it didn't have anywhere to go, so it just like kept developing under the skin. He's like, I'm like, okay, so like, what do we just need to do some antibiotics? He's like, no, we're probably gonna have to lance it. And I was just like,
Oh God, ew.
What does that mean?
oh, it sucked. They're like, also, we're gonna need to ultrasound your balls just to make sure. And I'm like, cool.
Of course.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'm
You're a
sitting
father
there.
of millions.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there pantsless with a towel over my crotch. And the guys, even the doctor said, after he said he's going to lance you, he's like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, it's going to suck. And I'm just like, cool.
Did they numb it and stuff?
Cool.
And that's the worst part. So he tells me, he's like, we're gonna have to numb it up, and they have to give you a lidocaine shot. And if you've ever seen the size of the needle for a lidocaine shot, it is massive, right? It's not like epidural size, but it's significant. So first of all, this dude comes walking in, and he puts the the syringe on the corner of the table next to me, like pointed at me and then leaves. And I'm sitting there for I think like 20 minutes alone, pantsless, just staring at this huge fucking needle. And I'm just like,
That's like in a movie in a torture scene where they lay out all the torture devices to the person so they can stare at them. That's the same thing they made you do.
right. And I'm sort of like, oh, this is coming. Like, I see this. I am not looking forward to this. So then the guy's like coming in, he's like starting to get ready. And then the nurse comes in and she's like, okay. And she has another syringe. I'm like, what's that? And she's just like, oh, well, this is going to be for the pain. And I'm like, what? She's like, it's not going to help with that. But like, this is for like your general pain, like later. And I was like, I just had this moment because I just remember being like, but that comes in pill form. You see, look what this guy's about to do to me. Like, and she gives me a shot in the arm. And then this
It's
dude,
just comical at this point.
I know. So then this guy grabs the syringe and this is what I learned. I thought I had a phobia of getting my blood drawn because it's never been needles for me, but it's like, I can't stand, like I can't even be touched here. Like I go into like full fight or flight mode and like, it's really bad. I like full on like near panic attack phobia every time I have to get my blood drawn. Guess what I found out? It has nothing to do with blood or being drawn. It is sharp objects being placed in very vulnerable spaces. So I'm like, first of all, I'm like trying to like hold my junk out the way because I'm like, hey, like, yeah, like just go. And he's like, you need to move your hands, like, because I've got a syringe. Like, you need to move your hands. I'm like, yeah, but I really want to like cover that area because I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now. And he's like, no, I understand, man, but like, you just gotta like, he's like, just like grip the rails. So I go, oh, fuck.
Grip the rails?
So I literally,
What doctor is this?
I mean,
Bite on this piece of leather,
right.
grab the rails.
So
Take a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, so I reach my hands around the bed. The rails aren't up, they're down. And the lady's like, so I'm like holding them under the bed really tight. And the nurse is like, do you want me to put them up? I'm like, no, we're good here. Like, and so I'm just like, all right, let's do this. He's like, just a heads up, I'm going to have to give you like multiple. And I'm like, okay.
Why? Okay.
Because you have to like where it was at, like he has to hit like all the nerves around there, right?
Okay.
6
No!
fucking times with this giant needle going in, and he's like, okay, and it's in. I'm like, yep. And he's just like, all right, you're gonna feel some burning. And I'm like, And he's like, okay, so that's there. And then he's like, hits another spot, and I'm like, again, this is all like this far from my junk, and so I'm just like, this is awful. And the worst part was after the 5th one. He goes, okay, and then I'm like, oh, and he's like, just one more. And I was like, what?
Get that false hope.
Oh, I was
Great
so
job, dude. You powered through. Now just one more.
And we're all done
Yeah.
after this one.
Exactly. I was so mad. Because I was just like, dude, this is not fair. This is not fair. You saw where I'm at. You said, okay, you should know. So then he gives me that one last one, and I'm like, oh god, fuck. Okay. So then he's like, is it numb? And he's like poking at it. I'm like, almost. And then we're like, okay, we're there.
He's just
Good
like there
enough.
swatting at your balls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Feel
That's all he
that?
was. Yeah, well, that's the other part. He's like, when he's like checking it out to make sure it wasn't a hernia, he's like squeezing it, and it was like really uncomfortable.
Oh.
So then he pulls out the syringe and pops off the top, and he's just like, all right, this part you really don't have your hands anywhere near. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, what? But then he just like starts to go to, I'm like, hey, like, can we get some info here? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, how's it going? What's going on?
Yeah, like, are we gonna slice it? Or are we poking at it? What's happening? Because you got a syringe, a really, really sharp one right next to my balls. And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna poke it straight in. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm back on the rails, right? And I'm just like, okay, And then he goes and just boom, just pushes it straight into the center. It was a lot of pus and blood. I also realized I told this on the post show for Death Battle Cast, so Cody has had to hear this twice now, and I grossed him the hell out the first time.
So was it anything to do with the impact, or was
Nope.
it an ingrown hair?
Oh, just total coincidence.
It was
that the two-
it was a complete coincidence in the spot it was in and everything. So it's either just like an ingrown hair or like a heat blister or something that just never made it to the surface and got infected under there.
God, dude.
I've been spending some time in a hospital recently just as a visitor. And I now have like a permanent dent in my beard from wearing a mask for so long. You see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I kind of see it.
It's like been perfected.
It's like your
I
beard's
just-
a different color.
yeah. But I went, while we were just waiting at the hospital, I went to a nearby convenience store, a little part of a gas station. And it was like my first time seeing other people in months. It was weird, like to be in a store, and I was buying waters for everyone. And it was like the tall smart waters that I got. I just grabbed a handful, and between like at the checkout, there's like a big like plastic barrier, I guess, because of COVID. So I like snuck the bottles under there, and the guy scanned them, and then I paid him, and then he gave them back to me. But I guess the barrier was just hanging. It wasn't like fixed. It was just hanging on some string, and the tops of the bottles hit the barrier, and it hit me in the face. Like all of the gross like people talking and sputtering onto
Gavin,
it.
that's worse than your knob hitting the urinal.
I know. I got like just like 100 COVID samples to the face, I assume. I was wearing a mask, and it could have hit my mask, but I was just like, that was unfortunate. That is terrible design. Has that never happened to a customer? God damn it. So gonna stay in for a couple of weeks. Yeah, there's some stuff that I'm too dumb for. Like I can't figure out railway signals to save my life. I did the tutorial and didn't understand what made the trains go.
Did you do the tutorial?
That was actually very good. That's
Was
a very
it
good one. Yeah.
Some of the circuit network stuff can get really complicated depending on like how fancy you want to get or how in depth you want to get with transmitting data.
Yeah. Also, Barb, I just think he needs more training.
Hey.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
My pun brothers in the house.
Always.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you guys again next week.
Goodbye. Stay
Bye.
safe. Wear your mask.